Many people dislike the use of school uniforms, but have you ever asked yourself, could they save several lives during a school shooting? I'm going to be discussing the positive aspects of school uniforms and how they create safer campuses, an improved school and learning environment, as well as efficiency among parents, school staff, and students. When safer campuses are created, there is a decrease in violence and theft. While opposers may say that a free dress code has nothing to do with violence in schools, an article published by Jan entitled Will School Uniforms Help Curb Student Violence, published in 1996, says that in Detroit, a 15-year-old boy was killed for taking his $86 basketball shoes to school. In Fort Lauderdale, another 15-year-old student had their jewelry robbed, and a 17-year-old student in Oxon Hill, Maryland, was killed while he was stealing a student's jacket. But he was actually killed by another student that wanted the jacket as well. Another article published by Junior Scholastic in 1999, entitled Require School Uniforms, says that Keith King, who published a study on school uniforms, says that uniforms prevent violence in which it promotes a form of a community. In other words, kids that come from different cultural backgrounds who may feel different from others, when they're in the same clothing as the other students, they may want to draw closer to them just because of their appearance, which helps unite students. Safer campuses means that they also prevent gangs and they easily identify intruders. For gangs, students aren't able to represent their gangs through the colors they wear due to the strict uniform dress code they're under. Intruders can easily be distinguished among crowds of students since they're not wearing the same clothing as students. This could help prevent incidents such as the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, as well as the Columbine incidents. Now that we know how uniforms have created safer campuses through these four aspects, I'll now go to my next point, which explains how uniforms create an improved school and learning environment. One way is that students aren't distracted by their looks. When a uniform is enforced in a school, students tend to pay less attention to what the other students are wearing since they're all wearing the same thing, and it allows them to focus more on their work. A scholarly article published by Chen in 2008 entitled Public School Uniforms, the Pros and Cons for Your Child says that stress among students can decrease due to their socioeconomic differences being equalized with the use of school uniforms. This then decreases the students worrying about whether their clothing fits in with that of the other students. Students also begin to develop a positive behavior. Whenever we see doctors in their lab coats or businessmen in their suits, their clothing usually gives them a greater sense of professional credibility, which makes us want to acknowledge them with greater respect than if we were meeting any other stranger in normal clothing. Similarly, when students are in uniforms, their clothing makes them want to act more professional because they feel that while in uniforms they must meet certain expectations, such as how doctors and businessmen meet certain expectations while in their uniforms. Now that we've gained knowledge on how school uniforms can create an improved school and learning environment, I'll go to my final point, which explains how uniforms create efficiency among parents, school staff, and students. For parents, school uniforms may cost less than having to buy several different designer brand clothing at the beginning of every new year. A scholarly article published by West, C.K. Tidwell, K.K. Bamba, A.K. Elmore, and P.A. in 1999, entitled Attitudes of Parents About School Uniforms, says that parents won't need to buy new clothing for their children at the beginning of every school year because with the use of uniforms, their children can always use the uniforms from the previous school year in the new school year. For school staff, teachers are respected more by their students because when in uniforms, the students feel like they're at a workplace and they view the teacher as their boss. And like any workplace, the employees respect their boss, so the students would be respecting the teacher. Another scholarly article published by Murray in 1999, or 97, entitled The Impact of School Uniforms on School Climate, says that improved student behavior can reduce teachers' stress because children in uniforms tend to act less recklessly. For students, time efficiency is created in the morning since the students won't have to worry about what they're going to wear in the morning since they don't have much of a choice with uniforms. Another scholarly article published by Kesey's in 2000 entitled School Uniforms and Dress Codes, The Pros and Cons, say that students will become more disciplined when it comes to having to wear uniforms and maintain fine grooming for their future careers. Now that I've presented all this information, we should take the responsibility of enforcing uniforms in schools to secure our youth's future. By doing so, we'll create safer campuses and improve school and learning environment, as well as efficiency among parents, school staff, and students. Although uniforms may seem uncomfortable at times or deny student expressions, they will serve a greater importance in securing students a promising future through its positive aspects. Thank you.